Sophie Cunningham's injury scared everybody half to death, man.
So Sophie Cunningham went down with what did not look like the greatest injury.
Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White just dropped a bombshell about Sophie Cunningham's injury. And no, this isn't your usual she's healing and doing fine kind of update. This one comes with drama, surprises, and a few unexpected twists nobody saw coming. If you thought Sophie was about to bounce back with some ankle tape and good vibes, think again.
She went down, rolled her ankle after landing on Ryan Howard's leg, which is not an ideal situation, not an ideal thing at all coming into the season.
Let's get one thing straight. Sophie Cunningham might not be Indiana's top scorer or the flashiest player on the court, but make no mistake, she's irreplaceable. She brings the fire, the edge. She's the enforcer who makes sure the other team never gets too comfortable. So when Coach Stephanie White gave her update on Sophie's recovery, it wasn't just about her health. It was a statement about what this team is missing, because without Sophie, it's not just a few points they're losing. It's the toughness, the energy, the attitude. She's the emotional engine of this squad. If you can't wait to see Sophie and the Fever back in action, drop a spicy Sophie in the comments below. Let's go.
Let's talk to this game. Number one, the starters for Indiana were okay, right? We ended up seeing a change in the starting lineup. We saw Sophie Cunningham get the starting nod. However, Sophie Cunningham had to go out of the game. I forgot what half that was, if that was in the first half or the second half, but Sophie Cunningham was coming down. She was in the air, coming down. She ended up rolling her ankle on Ryan Howard's foot. She went out of the game, was on the bench for a little while, and I believe she went to the locker room, but she did not return.
The update from Coach White wasn't all bad news, but it did show just how important Sophie Cunningham really is to Indiana's whole system. She's not the one grabbing headlines. Caitlinclark has that covered, but Sophie's the one doing the gritty work that helps everyone else shine. She's not chasing fame. She's diving for loose balls, locking down on defense, and making sure no one messes with her teammates. You won't always see her in the highlight clips, but every coach and every player knows you can't win games without someone like Sophie Cunningham.
Yes, Sophie Cunningham got injured. Okay, she got injured. She landed on her ankle the wrong way. Let's go ahead and look through the play right now. All right, so here she is here, coming for the rebound, boom, and lands on Ryan Howard's foot the wrong way, and she was holding it, man.
When Sophie first went down, there was this moment of denial within the team. Some figured it was just a bump, nothing serious. She'll walk it off, they thought. That's just what Sophie does. She takes the hits, shakes it off, and keeps going. But this time felt different. The pain didn't go away. The scans told a bigger story, and suddenly the team had to face a tough reality, playing, at least for a while, without their toughest player. It's like taking the guardrails off a roller coaster. Sure, it still runs, but everything feels a whole lot less secure.
At that moment, everybody was scared in the live stream, man. I was holding my breath, my face was fixed a certain way that looked crazy. I mean, we were scared in there, okay? Now, the main thing is, yes, she twisted her ankle, okay? And she was out for the rest of the game.
Coach Stephanie White didn't sugarcoat anything. She was straight up about how much Sophie Cunningham's absence hurts the team. It's not about missing a top scorer. It's about losing the grit, the toughness, and that extra fire that helps swing close games in their favor. Sophie's the one shouting out defensive switches, getting in opponents' heads, and hyping up the squad after taking a charge like it's a highlight dunk. She's the spark that gives this team its edge. And now, Indiana's gonna have to find that toughness somewhere else, because nobody brings that grind like Sophie.
Just giving a different kind of look and seeing what we might be able to do from that standpoint with Sophie's energy in the starting lineup and with DB's production coming off the bench. So, we'll probably continue throughout the course of the week tinkering a little bit, but preseason gives us a good opportunity to see what we like, because it's important to have a good starting group and it's important to have energy out and production off the bench.
But don't get it twisted. Sophie Cunningham isn't sitting on the bench feeling sorry for herself. She's already locked in. For her, rehab isn't just about healing. It's a mission, a checklist, a just wait till I'm back kind of mindset. If you followed Sophie's journey, you already know she's not built to sit still. She's probably counting down the seconds until she can can throw her body around in the paint again. This isn't a setback to her, it's just a pause. And when she returns, she's bringing all that fire, all that frustration, and turning it into the kind of gritty, hard-nosed basketball that shakes the whole court.
Sophie's injury too, like, is there any update on that?
I don't think so. She was in there getting in a cold tub, so she keeps saying I'll be fine, so I trust her.
What makes this whole situation even more powerful is how much Sophie's absence is being felt off the stat sheet. Sure, the Fever have young stars on the rise, but it's Cunningham who brings that it factor. She dives for loose balls like they're gold, gets under opponents' skin just enough to throw them off, and keeps the team's emotional energy in check. She's the one who cranks things up when the energy drops. When the gym goes quiet, Sophie brings the noise. Now that she's out, Indiana needs someone to step into that fire. And let's be real, that's a tall order. Watching the Fever without Sophie is like watching a concert with no drums. The song's still playing, but the rhythm's off. People call her a glue player, but even that feels like it's selling her short. She's more like the team's shock absorber, taking on the hits, the pressure, the chaos, so her teammates can play loose and focused. Without her, everything just feels rougher. The bumps hit harder, the floor feels colder, and the Fever, they feel just a bit more vulnerable.
This game. So I hope that Sophie Cunningham is okay. Again, you know, it looks like a rolled ankle, so hopefully it's not too bad. Maybe she's out for a day or so, but yeah, we'll see. We'll find out an update from the Indiana Fever. But Sophie Cunningham did go out of the game.
So what does this mean for the short term? Coach Stephanie White kept it real. No panic, but definitely a sense of urgency. There's hope Sophie Cunningham can return soon, but there's also no set timeline. It's a wait and see situation. The team's staying locked in though. Caitlinclark keeps lighting it up. Kelsey Mitchell is finding her rhythm, and Aaliyah Boston is dominating on both ends. Still, everyone knows without Sophie mixing it up on the floor, Indiana has to make more than lineup changes. They need to shift their mindset too.
It's a positive thing. She was like trying to see if she could get back in the game. Obviously, they're not dumb. They're not going to put her back into a preseason game. But she was trying to get back into the game, which is big. Like, if we're honest, that is genuinely big.
Here's the truth. Sophie Cunningham might not dominate the headlines, but when she returns, you're going to feel it. She's the backbone of this Fever squad, the pulse that holds everything together, even if it goes unnoticed until she's gone. While the rest of the league chases flash and highlight reels, Indiana knows what really matters: grit, and no one brings that better than Sophie. Right now, she's attacking rehab with the same fire she brings to every possession, but don't expect her to tiptoe back in. Expect a storm. Sophie doesn't ease into anything. She kicks down the door, plants her flag, and reminds everyone. She may not be the headliner, but she's the reason the lights stay on and the roof doesn't collapse. Until then, the Fever will keep grinding. They'll fight, they'll scrap, and they'll keep that spot warm. Because when Sophie comes back, she's not just rejoining the team, she's reigniting its soul.
She is okay, all right? It did look like it could have been something worse because of how she landed, and it was like more so of an Achilles looking stretch instead of a twisted sideways foot. So that's what scared, that's what scared me. But nonetheless, man, it came out that it was a twisted ankle and she was okay, and she was just going to sit out for the rest of the game.
Stephanie White, the calm and collected mastermind of the Indiana Fever, doesn't do panic. When she heard the latest update on Sophie Cunningham's injury, she probably just nodded, took a breath, and went right back to sketching plays on a napkin. White knows the real deal. This isn't just about losing a scorer. It's about temporarily losing the engine that keeps the team running at full speed. This isn't your typical "she'll be back soon" injury update, and it's certainly not a season-ending disaster, but it's a complicated situation that raises plenty of questions and fuels discussions. One thing's clear: the Fever won't be the same without Sophie holding down the fort. Let's be honest, Sophie Cunningham isn't the face of the franchise. That title belongs to Caitlinclark, but Sophie, she's the fire behind the whole thing. She's the glue, the enforcer, the Energizer Bunny, and the one who stirs up chaos when needed. Her injury news hit hard, not because the Fever are about to collapse, but because they lose that crucial edge. Sophie doesn't just play the game, she stabilizes it. She's the grit that makes the glamour shine. When the team needs someone to step up, mix it up, and bring the toughness, especially under the basket, that's Sophie. Her absence doesn't mean disaster, it means a shift in the Fever's entire dynamic. And if you know Sophie, you know she treats rehab like a plot twist in her own action movie, not a timeout.
Oh my god, Sophie's a dog. She just is, she's a competitor. She's versatile, so she allows us to do different things. Like, she plays with such a toughness. She's huge, and she's going to be for us all season long. But what she brings from an energy standpoint, she raises the level of play of everybody around her as soon as she steps foot on the floor. Hell, even on the sideline. I mean, her communication, everything. She's definitely an X factor.
We all know Sophie isn't looking for sympathy. While most players would take an injury timeout, resting with an ice pack and sticking to a quiet recovery, Sophie's out here planning her return like she's coming off a covert mission. For her, rehab isn't just about getting healthy, it's about strategy. She's probably already watching film, analyzing every move, and texting the rookies with reminders to box out. In Sophie's world, this isn't a setback. It's more like a loading screen. A brief pause before she jumps back in, ready to bring even more hard fouls and hustle plays.
And that's Kiki Arafin, and I got to tell you, here we go with the smiling like you've done. I don't get it. This is the worst part of the WNBA. It is.
The second Sophie hit the floor after that brutal shove from the Mystics, she bounced right back up like gravity just tried to mess with her. No drama, no hesitation, just a fierce look and a silent promise to come back even stronger. That wasn't just toughness, it was pure Cunningham. She thrives on contact. Pain? It's nothing more than a quick pit stop. That's what makes her the perfect complement to Indiana's finesse. When the Fever need flash, they turn to Caitlin-Clark, but when they need fire, that's all Sophie.
I mean, yikes. Kiki, the new Kennedy. A lot of people not happy. Demon Sophie, yeah, she showed up. Look at this. They're celebrating that. Okay. I mean, it's crazy. Here we go again. She's yelling while Kiki's laughing in her face. Never seen a rook have a vet so rattled.
Want to understand just how crucial Sophie Cunningham is to this team? Take her off the court and suddenly the Fever look off. The rotations don't click the same way. The pace? It's just a little too tame. Sophie isn't just a vocal leader. She's the one who sets the emotional vibe. Think of her as the team's defensive thermostat. When opponents get too bold, she cranks up the heat. When things get chaotic, she leans right into it and finds a way to control the rhythm. That's not something you'll find in the stat sheets. It's the kind of impact you feel.
Well, first and foremost, they play so hard. They play with multiple levels of effort. They're both just tough as nails. They have length. They use their length really well. Their activity level on the defensive end and offensively. I mean, they're like mirror images of one another. I mean, the way that they can cut, the way that they can spread the floor, and what they bring on the defensive end of the floor.
She doesn't need the spotlight. She's the one who makes it possible for others to shine. Sophie clears space, takes charges, and barks out orders like a point guard trapped in a power forward's body. But don't let her tough exterior fool you. Sophie is incredibly smart. Her basketball IQ is off the charts. Her instincts are sharp, and her ability to read the game's flow is second to none. When she's on the bench, you notice the silence. But when she's on the court, you feel her presence loud and clear.
You want to make sure that your home court is special to you as a team, but you want to make it hard as heck for other people to come in here to Gamebridge, and they don't want to play here, right? And I think with that, as an energy player, you got to get your fans involved. That's our sixth man right there.
You know the saying, Sophie's the glue, but not just any glue. She's the heavy-duty kind that holds everything together. Without her, the Fever are still a talented team, no doubt, but there's something missing. It's like a band without a drummer. Everything works, but it's missing that rhythm. Sophie is that heartbeat. She's the one who makes the team tick. Right now, without her, the Fever are trying to find a way to keep the tempo up until she returns.
We put Sophie in position where she was running the point guard, right? We put Lexi in position at the end of the game where she was running the point guard. And so I'm thankful to have players like that who are comfortable being uncomfortable and doing what's necessary for our team to find success. I mean, that's part of, one of our core values is be selfless, and sometimes that means playing out of position. And I thought they both did a great job of that, but really like their energy and competitive spirit.
Sophie's story isn't about being the star of the show. It's about being the player her teammates point to in the locker room when they say, "We need someone to lead." She's the one who refuses to let her team back down, keeps the pace high, and makes sure opponents can't settle in. Even though she's on the sidelines right now, she's still finding ways to lead, whether it's in practice, in the huddle, or through every Zoom film session. Sophie's leadership doesn't take a break when she's injured. If anything, it grows stronger.
I liked our aggressiveness. I liked the fact that we picked up, pretty much 94 feet, that they didn't get anything easy. I mean, it's not often that you come out with a win in games where you shoot 30% from the floor. And I felt like our defense really held, gave us an opportunity to get back in the game, gave us an opportunity to finish the game.
So what's next for the Fever without Sophie? They'll adjust, they'll find a way, and they'll keep pushing. But they can't sit back and wait for their enforcer to return. They need her, locking down the other team's toughest player, talking smack with a grin, and diving for loose balls like it's Game 7 of the finals. The glue will be back, and when she is, Indiana's energy will shift completely. One thing's for sure, when Sophie Cunningham re-enters the lineup, she'll do it the same way she always does. Loud, focused, and impossible to ignore. If the Fever are aiming for a deep playoff run, she's the spark they'll need to ignite that fire. If you're ready for Sophie and the Fever to hit the court again, drop a spicy Sophie in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss an update. Click the video on the screen and we'll see you in the next one.